That's funny. Well, I'll take the credit, you know. I'm not too ashamed. Alright. Right, I'm going to absolutely take, I'm submitting that, actually, as my work of art. Alright, I'm going to put you on speaker, and we are live now, I do believe. Yeah, we're live. I'm going to put you on speaker. Here we go. Alrighty. Let me make sure. Yeah, we're good. Evan's here, so we know we're live. First. He's there first. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce really probably the most anticipated interview that I've had since the dawn of the Good Job Buddy show, and it's only been what maybe 2 hours since I have posted the preview that I worked so hard on editing, and still yet almost 200 views on the preview alone should tell you something. Ladies and gentlemen, from all the way in from Camp Dragonfly, it is Nikki Bailey. Nikki,
hello,
how are you?
Eddie. How are you today?
Fantastic.
Eddie or Good Job Buddy? Which would you prefer me to address you as?
You can call me Eddie while we're here. That way, then when we're off living the rest of our lives, we'll just refer to it as Good Job Buddy. That way, people know where to watch it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if you need to say "Shut up, Eddie," then it would be that. Yeah, Eddie. I'm just teasing.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man. So this is probably the I gotta say, thinking of all the interviews I might never get, this was probably the top of them.
Well, I know, that's why I did that. I didn't think that you would expect me to do this. I didn't think your viewers would expect me to do this. So I thought yours would be the perfect platform to do it.
Yeah, this is and I agree. Nikki reached out to me on this particular idea, and I feel like you were a genius for doing so.
It made me prove who I was.
Yeah, you definitely
I had to sing fingerprints, a urine sample.
Yeah, I did have to make her prove it. Well, because I think when I put out there that I'm untrollable, I think people go, in my head, start going, oh, people are going to try so hard to figure out a way to troll me. And then when something like this comes up, I'm like, wait a minute, maybe this is me being trolled. I've got to check into it. Because I had a hiccup involving you about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. I tried to, somebody else contacted me, and I might have just gotten that wrong. I thought it was you, and it was not you.
No, it was not me.
Yeah, it was it was some BS on the low anyway, so it really didn't matter. And I just tried to swipe it under the rug and move on, kind of quietly and casually as I possibly could. Just be like, okay, nothing to see here, looky-loos. That never happened. But
yeah, I just wanted to do an interview to let people know my experience personally, what I encountered, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I thought that your platform is the only one that would be approachable or appropriate for this sort of a thing. I mean, just somebody in the slabs doing this, they would never do that because they would put themselves in danger. And I wouldn't have done it there because I would have put myself and my dog in danger. So that's why I waited till I was completely gone before I agreed to do it. So
yeah, and we hear about people getting burned out in the slabs, and people getting robbed. We hear about it, but you were a single woman living in the slabs, and you would have, regardless of what you said here today, you've been, how long were you in the slabs for?
7 months approximately to the day. So yeah. October 17 to May 17.
So wow, so you lived in the slabs as a single woman, like I said, and survived all of those, all the things that could have happened to a single woman. This is a unique perspective that you're going to give us, because I've seen up and down in chat rooms all over the place, women saying that, this woman's going to go out there, this woman's going to go out there. Off gate, is it something you recommend for a single woman to do?
Absolutely not, under any circumstances.
And go ahead and, I guess just give us your experience, like, give us the surface of your experience, and then as I see fit, I'm going to ask you to dive in a little bit. So, like,
okay.
Yeah, like, that way, you know, starting from, like, when you were talking about moving there, up, I guess, like, right around a week out, and then to how you were welcomed and what changed perception-wise for you, like, when it started to change.
Sure. Before I begin, though, I'd like to make just a general statement to your followers, subscribers, listeners, and things. I had a lot of problems online with different people. I'd like to apologize if I did or said anything. A lot of times for me, I received disability from the federal government because I have complex PTSD from childhood abuse and neglect. I have borderline personality disorder as a result of the traumas that I endured as a child, and I suffer from severe depression disorder. So when I encounter things sometimes, I have to process them. So when they're in my face and they're raw, my first reaction is to block, ignore, stop talking with that person because my brain doesn't process as quickly as other people. Sometimes it takes me weeks to process things. So if you're watching this interview and you're thinking, oh, I can't wait to see all that she suffered, I'm sorry that you feel that way about me, but I did bring it upon myself, but I'm not making excuses, but I would like to just explain a little bit. The reason that I went to the Slabs was because of receiving disability. I had a stable income. I think anybody that doesn't have an income out there is going to suffer tremendously. There are no services. You pay for everything. If you get water, you have to pay to have the water delivered. If you don't have a tank to put your water in, you have to pay someone to sell you a tank or bring you a tank or rent you a tank. If you don't have propane, you have to buy a propane tank. You have to keep it filled. So these are expensive things to do. You may not have to pay rent, but you pay for everything else out there, everything. So just, you know, it's difficult for a single person to be out there on their own. I only know a couple camps that are really successful. One of the best camps out there is Rabbit Side, but there are 3 of them there. So being a single person all by yourself, I don't know. If you're not a neat or clean person, it probably wouldn't be as difficult for you. But because of some of my disability, I have to have a clean environment. I showed videos of my home and things, so I would have to clean everything in my home before I could do anything else. But then you have to remember, you only got a certain amount of time to get to town, to get propane, to get groceries, to get whatever you need to come back to your camp and survive. If you're a single female, you have no one to watch your camp while you leave. So you either leave your dog or you take your dog with you, and then you have nothing or no one in your camp. So you also have, you know, I didn't know anything about an RV trailer, never had an RV before, so I had to learn about everything to do with an RV, and I had to learn about that by myself. So I was there for 3 weeks and didn't have power, water, or anything. I had to, you know, learn to get those things and do them for myself. When I first arrived, I went to the Eco Village. I went to Cause's. The first night I was there, Cause made me dinner, gave me water. I charged my devices. I was so grateful to start out at an established camp. I stayed there for about 3 weeks. I cooked, I did dishes for Cause, I did other things, you know, around the camp, not to Cause, you fucking perverts. I can just imagine the chat shit.
Well, I can't read it.
So. You have to trade with Cause in order to be there.
Right.
So I did that. I kept up my end. I walked away feeling like I contributed more than what I absorbed while I was there. We had a falling out due to when I first arrived, my friends and my family wanted to know where I was, so I went into Google Maps and dropped a pin, they call it, so it kind of marks where you are. And I, you know, Camp Dragonfly and all that, and when I did that, it inadvertently erased the fallout shelter for Cause. So this made him furious. So when I went up to get my coffee, he lit into me. So one of my triggers in my disability is yelling and screaming. So I immediately just shut down. I started crying, and I left. I went back to my trailer. I sat there and thought, am I going to be able to cope with this? Is this something that I'm going to be able to do? Because this will happen again. And it did happen again. But I moved, and in order to save face and not have a problem and have videos put out against me and things, I said that it was because of Buffy, that Shiny's dog, Turquoise, was aggressive towards her. And she was, but she was just letting Buff know, don't fuck with me, we'll be cool. But because Cause decided to yell and scream at me, I decided to move my camp. So I moved over to what they call
Wait a minute.
Dog Lane.
He yelled at you because you dropped a pin on Google Earth?
Correct.
Now, how does that affect the Eco Village? Is that a community Google Earth, or is that not your own personal? I'm not sure I understand.
Look, Google, anybody can do it. You can go into Google Earth or Google Maps and drop a pin or edit or anything. I mean, anybody could go in there, and just if you guys want to have some fun, you could go in to the Eco Village on Google Maps and rename it something.
Oh.
Google lets you do that. So I didn't do anything malicious. I wasn't trying to wipe out anything. I just didn't understand at that point how Google Maps worked when you did that kind of stuff. So they'll let you go in and edit. You can change names and say that they're not there anymore. I haven't gone in and took my pin out, but I will. I'm going to go in into Google Maps and completely delete where I was. But you can do that, and they don't check on you. They don't make the person that did it edit it or anything. Anybody can go in. I mean, you could go in and change it to Cause's home for wayward girls if you wanted.
Okay, so
but it made him furious at me that I did that.
But it was inadvertent, and was it not fixable? Pretty easily fixable?
Oh yeah, I submitted to Google right away. Sent him emails letting him know that I had submitted for it to be fixed and things like that. And what it was when he uploaded his videos, he couldn't tag them Eco Village Fallout Shelter.
Oh, I see.
You know how it lights up in the blue where if you want to tag a location?
Yeah.
So he came undone because of that. And I mean, it was brutal to me. And Mad Mac or what is he now? Old Man Mac was there and heard the entire exchange. And, just couldn't believe that he treated me that way. So
wow.
I just, I didn't want to fight with him, so I said it was the dog. I moved because of my dog.
Was that your first experience with Cause sort of blowing up?
Absolutely. Yeah, and he and I had talked about that because he says that he has PTSD as well. So I told him, I said, this is one of my triggers. It causes me to shut down, arguing, yelling, things like that because of the trauma from my childhood. I just don't function well when someone is screaming at me.
Yeah.
So when you have PTSD, you have normally about 4 emotions to things or reactions: fight, flight, freeze, or please. That's exactly what you do. So for me, I usually freeze when someone starts screaming and yelling at me, and then I leave. So I freeze and flee. So when Cause started, I just broke down. I cried for hours before I could even go talk to him and tell him that I was leaving. So I left within 3 days of that incident.
Wow. So, and this was pretty much right off gate for you after you...
Yeah, I'd only been there like a couple weeks, 3 weeks maybe at that point.
Okay.
When he finally realized it. I did it pretty early when I got there just to let my friends and family know where I was. So he didn't notice it, I guess, at first. And when he did notice it, he was able to go in and figure out that I was the one that did it. And, instead of talking to me like an adult and saying, hey, did you do this? Can you put it back? Or, whatever. I just never had anybody talk to me like that. So.
Wow. That seems petty, but who am I to judge?
Right. And who am I? He may have his own, problems and stuff like that. So I thought it was best if I didn't live under that kind of condition, and I wasn't going to be happy there. I knew that. There's a lot of activity over there, a lot of people, a lot of in and outs, a lot of dogs and stuff like that, and a lot of yelling. And I didn't want to be around stuff like that. So I moved separately by myself. Now, to live completely by yourself, the first thing you should do is put up a fence. First thing. Because I had Domino, which you're aware of that name, and Scrappy. I had Domino walk through my camp 2 or 3 days after being there. Just completely unnerved me. So I put a fence up fairly quickly.
Okay. And that, well, you're talking about like a fence for dogs or a fence for like...
Both. For fence for people and dogs. To keep,
okay.
Keep the dog close to the trailer and keep people from walking through my boundaries as far as, you know, what I have blocked off. So. And
this way, if they're inside of your fence, you know they have maliciously done this instead of just wandered about and they...
Exactly. If somebody climbs my fence or does something, then they're fair game.
Right, I got you.
But I had never had anything stolen from me while I was there, not one thing. I was never offered meth, but, you know, I don't do meth, so I never ask anybody for it.
Right.
I was never threatened. I was never, not by anybody there. I was threatened from people online, but not from anybody that lived there. But there's an underwritten thing that you don't talk out of school. You don't put certain things out there because there can be repercussions.
So you mean like you don't put things out on YouTube or into the internet or into public that's happening because you could get burnt out, you could get robbed, things like that?
Well, most of the burnouts there are not a result of conflict. They're usually a result of accidents, whether it's drug-induced accidents, drinking accidents, falling asleep with a candle on, cooking in the wind. I mean, a lot of people out there do not live in homes, mobile homes, or anything. They live under trees, in tents, in pallet shacks, and things like that, things that can easily catch on fire. That's right. You know, people have fire pits in their living rooms. So it's extremely easy to get burnt out. The problem is more so is getting robbed or stolen from, being shunned from the community where you can't get anyone to deliver water or services to you, or, you know, have anybody come and help you do things that you're not physically able. That's the worst part, you know. Burnout, Red Cross comes and writes you a check and you get, you know, you walk away.
Yeah.
You know, people burn their own camps for that money there.
Wow. So that's not, you're not talking about just insurance. The Red Cross themselves will help
Red Cross, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, they all know it. I didn't know it till I got there, and a couple people had told me and laughed about it and said, yeah, you know, when I get ready to go, I'm just going to burn my camp. Red Cross comes out and writes you a check. Because that's what they told me to do with my trailer. They're like, because I couldn't pull it because of my anxiety, they're like, oh, yeah, just set it on fire, and Red Cross will come and write you a check. I'm like, fuck no. I'm not doing that.
Damn, that seems like, so it's not insurance fraud necessarily. It's like,
more like FEMA Red Cross fraud, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, like FEMA fraud. Wow. I just learned something. Damn.
That's just an easy out for people there. Yeah, they set their shit on fire and FEMA comes and writes them, or not FEMA, but Red Cross comes and writes them a check and, you know, gives them new shit and they leave. I mean, some people don't have as nice a shit as they get replaced.
Wow.
You just go build yourself a wooden box, set it on fire, and Red Cross will come and write you a check.
Yeah, man. Wow, Tommy does everything wrong. That's just a joke. That's a joke, Tommy. Just a joke. Fair enough. It was timely, Tommy. You had to admit it was a timing joke.
It was okay.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
My experience with them was I had never met them in person. I'd only talked to them online. We had disagreements online, but when I found out that they come back the first time that I was there, and they only stayed about 24, 48 hours, and that was because they were threatened by Beret, who was down on the canal, and Beret told them if they didn't make it right, that they wouldn't be able to stay there long. So he didn't come right out and threaten them as far as anything specific, but he let them know that they weren't welcome. So they split. They didn't want to make amends. They didn't want to face anybody. They talked to Pastor Dave and a couple other people, and they were gone. So when they come back the second time, everybody was against it, and everybody was, no, they're not coming back. And I said, look, they've got nowhere else to go, Have you been watched? They've got nowhere. So I campaigned really hard for people to give them a chance. I said, when you're here, it's different than when you're online. I'm willing to let things go because I'm here physically now, and they are here physically. And when you're there physically, it's completely different than being online. So I campaigned, Deborah Langley was completely against them coming there, and everything. And
wow, really?
I convinced her to give them a chance and to let them prove themselves. And I was like, if they're real Christians, they're gonna grow, move on. I said, people mess up, and you gotta remember this is out here real life. And so everybody gave them a chance. They were accepted. They were getting along. They were getting, they were becoming a part of the community and things like that. They went to the neighborhood camp, Mama D's, who was part of the Eco Village at one time,
right.
Under Cause's kingdom, and they kind of broke apart and things, so they're not, I don't think they're recognized anymore under the Eco Village flag. I think the neighborhood camp is completely separate now, because Cause and Mama D don't speak at all anymore, even though they did videos and things in the past, but they're no longer associated with each other, so.
Right.
But Tommy and Selena went there and, didn't have any problems. Mama D helped them a lot, did a lot of things for them. A lot of other people did a lot. And then they got death threats. But they got death threats from people online, not from people in the slab. So I want to make that clear. Nobody in the slab threatened them. Nobody said anything. Nobody did anything. I went to Beret, make sure everything was okay down there because it's private property. And nobody threatened them from the slabs. The person that was sending them death threats was from somebody from the community.
So, because Tommy said on his video that, that somebody was evicting them, told them they had to leave, and then he waited a week for that person to come evict them. That's not what happened then.
They said it online, though. It was an online person, not someone that lived in the slab.
I got you. Okay, I just misunderstood that then. Okay.
Right, because they told them if they didn't get out, they were coming to the slabs to evict them.
Quote unquote evict them. I got you.
Correct.
So it could have just been trolling, really.
It was never anybody in the slab that threatened them because they were accepted there.
Okay. So most likely, probably just trolling. Somebody just trolling
Yeah.
them.
Well, somebody had their numbers, so that's why I was reluctant to call or have anything, is because I was told that you're the person putting out people's personal information, so that kind of made me nervous.
Oh, me?
I don't want to, yes.
Oh, no, God,
Absolutely.
no. I wouldn't dox anybody.
Yeah, Deborah Langley is telling people that you're the one putting out people's numbers.
Oh.
You put Zane's address out there, she said.
No.
You had Zane, you put Chris's address out there where she was?
Nope.
Yeah, she said, Deborah Langley said that was all. And I have text messages from her to prove it.
Wow, shame, Deb. You know that's not true. That's not true.
Well, to me now, she's the big fat cunt.
Well, wow.
That's what I call her.
Well,
big
before we
fat
get into
cunt,
that, let me pause real quick. So I do want to make plainly clear that it would be detrimental to what I'm trying to do, interviews-wise, if I doxed people, because no one would then ever call me or, want to do interviews with me if I was giving out their personal information. So it would be mighty hard for me to continue doing this. And maybe, I guess that's why Deb is telling people that I'm doing that, so therefore they won't, work with me or whatever. So, touche, it's a good play.
And that was one of the first things that I said to you, if you remember, when you and I started communicating. I was very reluctant to give my personal information because I told you I didn't want my phone number, and I still may change my phone, even though it should say unknown caller on your end.
Yeah,
I still may change my phone number.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what I tell people to do if they in any way feel like, they should, if they in any way feel nervous. I always say, well, call me at this time specifically so I know it's you calling, but use a block number. That way I'll answer, and, nobody's out nonetheless. So I get what I want, which is an interview, and they get the privacy or whatever. So yeah, but I would never dox anyone. I was on the radio for 10 years. I know how to keep things on the low, and I know.
Well, you need a 1-800 number, Eddie, like a spank line or something that you can set up for people to call in and talk to you.
Yeah, and I'd like to get to that point.
Like Google Voice offers that. Set up a Google Voice, and it doesn't track phone numbers.
I got you. See, I don't know enough. I'm still.
Just a little tip there.
Yeah, I'm still treading in the shallow end. My mommy hasn't taken off the water wings yet. But yeah.
Being a single female out there is hard. There's a lot of pedophiles out there. There is a camp specifically for them. It's fenced in to protect them from people. But it is true. There's a lot of, because they have nowhere else they can go. So there is nowhere else. I mean, they go there, but there is a camp just for them. I had one of the guys I didn't know it until he was gone, but he came to my camp, and we hung out and stuff, and he was like, yeah, I told Mom I was looking for a girlfriend. I said, dude, I'm gonna stop you right now. You wrong tree. I'm not interested, don't want nothing. No, wrong thing. So after that, I never saw the guy. 3 or 4 days later, he was picked up for not registering as a sex offender, and he was extradited back to wherever he was from.
You're saying there's registered sex offenders out there, and they are kept in their own encampment for their own protection?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
And protect the children. There's a lot of kids out at the Slab, and they know where these people are, and they steer clear of them. These people are open about their records and things like that. It's not like it's hidden. But they are protected. They are inside of an encampment that is fenced in and is protected. And it's for women. There's one for the women only, too, I believe, there.
You were friends with Deborah for a while, am I right?
You mean Big Fat Cunt? Yeah, I was friends with her, whatever.
Yeah, pardon me. Maybe I said that, but it might have sounded different.
How about BFC? Just call her BFC.
All right. God damn, you are fire. You come out with the fire. You do not hold back.
Well, she was mean to Buffy, my dog.
Right.
I was fine with her being a bitch to me. I could care less. But when she turned on my dog and was really mean to my dog, it was no holds bar. I mean, I called her Big Fat Cunt as she was driving away. She moved to get away from me. She was parked. Her camp was close to mine, but she moved after her night. Well, she moved. She was moving when we got into it over when she was mean to my dog. So that's why I hate her so much. I didn't have any problem with her until she was mean to my damn dog.
Oh, really? So was she physically violent to your dog?
No, she was just like, I can't even, my dog loved her, Buffy, my Yorkie, loved her, because she would come over and have breakfast. I'd make her breakfast, and stuff, and she'd come over and everything, and my dog would climb all over and loved her and everything. And so I was out walking my dog, and we hadn't seen her in a couple weeks because she and I had a problem over Old Man Mac, and she decided she didn't want to be friends with me anymore because of that, because I told her to stay out of it. It was none of her business. When Mac decided to out me as being a troll account, and I didn't want Tommy and them to take the rap for something that I did, I'm always willing to own up to things if I make mistakes or fuck up. I'm always like, yep, I'm sorry, that was me. I'm not one of these where I never do anything wrong kind of a people. So she decided she didn't want to be friends with me, and I was like, well, damn, I thought we would just agree not to talk about online shit. I didn't think that you didn't want to be friends with me over this, but whatever. So I hadn't seen her for a few weeks, and Buffy hadn't seen her. She was outside unloading the car that I had bought for her to store her shit in. She was unloading things out of it, and Buffy walked over there to see her and jumped in her car, and I laughed, and I said, I'm sorry. She goes, I just can't. It's too painful. And it's like, bitch, do you need a fainting couch? I mean, could we be more dramatic? She's like, just take her. I can't even look at her. I'm like, what? What the fuck, man? Are you fucking stupid or high?
Wow.
She just kept, and then she wouldn't even look, and my dog is like trying to climb all over her, and she's just turning her back to my dog, and I said, all right, you fucking cunt. And that was it. You know, and my dog's like looking at me like, why won't she even, you know, pet me or say hi or touch me? And, you know, I'm trying to drag the poor dog away because she don't know what's going on, you know, and I'm sure my dog feels my energy when I get so angry at somebody. So then I took my dog home, and that was it. I was done with her. So she moved over to Rabbit's side, and she's waiting for her workman's comp payment while she's so busy living off of Andreas, who was Mike Dibble's sponsor. He's now her sponsor, and he bought her an RV, and he spends her money all the time, you know, just to keep her going.
Why, hey, Andreas, why doesn't Andreas want to hook me up? Come on, Andreas, hook a neighbor up, dude. I'm here.
That's what I said. I was like, hey, give him my phone number.
Come on.
Sponsor.
What the hell, man?
San Diego 420, he's out there sponsoring Mac and Flux and Alien and them, you know, trying to get them to do something. So you know, if you get a sponsor, you got it made out there.
Hey, you know, that's the other part of this. There's a lot to go on. I want to go down that San Diego 420 hole, but I want to stay over here on the Deborah side of things for a minute because, you know, Deborah kind of comes across on here anyway as being, you know, gentle and into the flowers, and she takes really pretty pictures and doesn't seem to be like a fight facilitator. But you and I are talking off the air. You said that's like she's not exactly who she portrays herself to be, and that she has herself up in a lot of business maybe that's not necessarily hers to be in.
Well, yeah, like poor Melanie Miller. She talks her business all the time. Katie Moonchild talks about her business. Tells things about Joanne. I guess her and Joanne at one time were really good friends, and says things about Joanne that I'd rather not know personally, you know, and other things like her and Deborah and Cause doesn't think that Melanie Miller's really sick. They think that she's running some kind of scam or seeking attention or doing something like that. I don't know her. I never, you know, she sent a couple packages to Deb in my P.O. box, and I got a couple things, but that was it. I never got money from her, never asked her for money. Deb said she was supposed to send her some money one time, backed out of it, and then tried to do it again, and Deb just got really frustrated with her and stuff and wouldn't let her do it anymore, and, you know, and things. But, yeah, Deb talks about people offline because her entire life is online. That's all she does. She talks every day for hours to people off on the phone that she's been talking with in chat. So she talks about all of us.
Okay.
So if she's talking about them, you know she's talking about me and you.
Well, because it struck me that when I had my little problem with, Joanne and Kathy Jones, that little shit that went down, that Deborah also got involved, and I was like, well, I didn't put the two and two together until much later on, because I didn't say anything about Deborah at all, and then it somehow became like Deborah was mad at me also, and I understood why Joanne and Kathy were mad at me, simply because, and to this day, I still believe that they perpetrated what they perpetrated. However, it didn't involve Deb, and so when you said to me earlier, it dawned on me like, wow, I guess maybe that's why, because she takes what we say in chats or what is said in chats, and then, like you're saying, talks to people off of chat rooms on telephone to kind of continue the rumors or whatever, keeping those things alive.
But the thing that people don't realize is what they're telling her, she's sharing with other people. Not just me, but other people. Cause, Mac, Alien. So if you're telling her anything in confidence, it's not confidence. It's not in confidence. She's sharing it with the world. Trust me. Because how would I know that Carrie, Melanie Miller, Cause asked her for $300 for prom for a suit, and she only sent him $100, and he was very pissed off about all of that. And he knows, and I know about that because he told Deborah, and Deborah told me about it. I saw the text messages.
So
I got screenshots from Deborah of Carrie's messages.
Melanie Miller is Carrie. And Carrie is sick?
From my understanding, she has stage 4 cancer. But Cause and Deborah doesn't believe it, you know. And she was sending Cause money every week, and then she quit. And then, you know, then Cause is, you know, talking about her like she's the bastard at the family reunion. She's not sick. She's not this. I don't believe it. I don't da-da-da. So.
Why is she sending Cause money if she's sick?
You know. I'm sorry?
Why is Carrie sending Cause money if she's sick? I don't know.
Several people send Cause money. Several, every week. He has people, subscribers, that send him money on the regular.
For like
Meat in Your Mouth?
Yeah.
Probably 5 or 10% of that money is actually used for that. The rest of it he pockets and lives on.
Oh, shit.
And I got that directly from his own mouth. And I've eaten the food that he buys from Meat in Your Mouth. So when he goes online and cries poor mouth, it's because he wants some dabs or something like that. He needs money for his phone bill or whatever life expense that he has, you know, propane, food, shitter, whatever.
Yeah, I think, was he doing a fundraiser for a solar system or something recently?
Which is so funny because when I was a part of the Eco Village, he had purchased a solar panel from a solar mic, but never paid for it. So I paid for it. I have the receipt for it.
Oh, shit.
That I paid for him. And it's got his name on it. So I do have that. If anybody, you know, questions or says that it's not true, I do have receipts to back up everything I'm saying.
Yeah, you told me that, and I want to put that out there that before we actually went live, Nikki did tell me that if there's anything that people say that she's lying about, she has receipts for everything. And when we say receipts, that includes receipts, but also some of these would be text messages, some of these may be, you know, phone calls made, voicemails, stuff like that.
Text messages, things like that. But I will say this, I'm not going to prove anything to trolls. I don't care what they think. I'm not doing this for that reason. I just want to bring a light to people out there, you know, for people saying, oh, I hope she had a horrible time. I hope she was mistreated. I hope this, I hope that. You know, I don't care about those people. They're fucking assholes to begin with. Online people don't mean jack shit to me. It was the people face to face that really mattered to me out there every day for survival. That's why when I got there, everybody got a clean slate with me, including Tommy and Selena. People that admitted to me that they did meth and did drugs, I was fine with that. I just told them, don't ask me for money for meth, and don't come around me when you're high.
Yeah, fair enough, right? Yeah, for sure.
You know.
But it sounds like the romance of Slab City for you, or at least because I remember seeing you in the chat room in Cause's chat for a while. It sounds like at least that relationship it began to go south at the time that he yelled at you. Did y'all ever kind of mend that, or was that sort of it for that relationship? Or?
Well, like about the time that you're ready to say fuck you to Cause, he'll do something really sweet. Like I had a couple times where I wanted to go a couple times, and like he would send me over some pot and say, hey, I hope you're doing okay. Or again, Deborah Langley got her fucking hands in my Kool-Aid. I would, you know, vent to her about how I feel. She'd run to Cause and tell him, and then, you know, he would say something to me. You know, like, hey, I just want you to know I appreciate you, or, you know, da-da-da. So she would get in his ear, run his mouth that I was talking smack about him, which she shouldn't have been doing. And then he would come around and say, oh, I'm sorry, you know, and we would make up. New Year's Eve, I was trapped at the range because he texted me at the last minute and said, hey, my ride bailed on me. Can you give me a ride down to the range? And all I agreed to do was give him a ride. He set up his grill and everything in the back of my pickup because I have a cargo light in the back. And I was trapped there for 3.5 hours. I was trapped at the range because he was cooking out of the back of my truck. Well, he was the big hero, so he knew that I was furious about it, and he knew that I was bitching and things. So that's why he came out in the big video and said, oh, thank you so much to Nikki and blah, 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 because he knew that he did wrong by me and that I never stay at the range that long. First of all, I have social anxiety, and I don't like to be around that many people. Second of all, the music usually sucks up there, and I don't want to sit out in the cold and listen to sucky music. So, you know, I go up and see people, say hi, blah, 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 rap, 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 and then I'm gone. I go home, watch my camp. Being single, I'm the only person to watch my camp. So go home and everything, I would usually go for an hour or two. So I got trapped up there, and I was done, and then he sends me a sweet message. Well, after the first of the year, I had all my money stolen. My disability payment was completely wiped out. They left me with $7 for the month. Well, thankfully, I had emergency money set aside, but I sent a message to Cause, and I said, I can't be giving you any more rides because I won't have the gas. Well, after that, he never asked me for another ride because he knew I wasn't going to give them to him for free. So Deborah stepped in, and she started giving him rides. And she started being the ride person and giving Alien and Flux and all them rides and stuff. But all she did was bitch about it to me. So I'm thinking, I never let her do anything for me because I didn't want her bitching about me to other people.
What kind of bitching was she bitching about?
Well, she said cost stinks really bad and that she had to freeze her car and she wanted to take the seats out of her car. Different things, like he would always leave shit in her. She went up there one time and he yelled and screamed at her just like he did me, and she left up there and they didn't talk for days and days, and then he needed something and he texted her and they made up or whatever. The best thing I ever know was that she did dabs with San Diego 420 in them, and she puked on Cause's kitchen table. It was the best thing ever.
God
so when
damn.
you're watching those cooking videos and you see that table, think about that, covered with Deborah's fucking spew everywhere.
How good are those dabs? I mean, is that good? I don't really know. Like, are dabs
I don't
supposed
do dabs,
to make you puke?
Eddie, at all, because they don't do nothing for me. So I never did them, but 3 of the people that did them when he was out there got physically sick. Mac got sick, Alien got sick, and Deborah got sick.
Oh, shit. Oh, so I wonder if there was something...
After that, I didn't want anything to do with San Diego 420.
Man. And about San Diego 420, what I had heard from Tommy, since he's not ever going to come on and finish this shit out, I'm just going to spill this tea, but was that San Diego 420 was trying to get in everybody's pocket, essentially, so that they would grow for him or maintain some sort of growery for San Diego 420, like on a mass production scale.
Correct. He wanted to do that at Goonies, but Andreas beat him to the punch.
Oh.
Andreas didn't want them to grow marijuana or anything. He was just looking to invest. He believed the hype, of Goonies, that they were going to actually help people and things like that. And all they were doing was raking in the money and, using it for their own personal stuff.
God, man, raking in the money to me it's so hard for me to understand, like, how much money you can make being a desert dweller, YouTuber even.
Well, they got over $6,000 in donations, not including the match that Andreas gave them.
And that was for this quote-unquote solar, but then there was a motorcycle bought with some of the money, right?
That had nothing, no, that's not true. That motorcycle belonged to Tori, who is now in charge of B-Side. Her man, Daniel, that was his motorcycle. Adobe traded a laptop and a camera. Who knows where he got those? But he traded those for the motorcycle and never got the title for them. So Adobe wasn't the bad guy. He was just wrong person, wrong place, wrong time.
All right.
Adobe didn't have anything, I'm sure he was raking in the money from the scams and the donations and things like that, and he helped. People sent him things specifically. So, he did reap that benefit, but as far as the donation, Andreas, no. They did not mess with Andreas's or screw him over because he would have pulled his funding.
Right.
And Deborah is the one that went out there and pulled all his solar and helped him get all of his things, because they were going to pillage and loot the camp and then burn it to the ground. So
yeah, I remember
Deborah is the one that went out there and fought with everybody and kept everybody from doing that.
I remember that. I remember, because Zane wasn't going to go back because he wasn't being paid to go back, which is fair enough. I mean...
Andreas paid Zane. Deborah went Andreas and got him paid. So he's a fucking liar if he said he didn't get paid for what...
Oh, no, I was talking about, like, the videos he was making at the time was, unless you pay me, I'm not going back to take it down. And that's essentially
Oh,
what
yeah, that's
Deb
probably
was,
absolutely true.
yeah, and Deb having, Deb was...
Zane's an asshole. I met him. He came to my camp. He's a douchebag. I picked up Cuervo and asked him how Mac died, and he told me that Zane was fucked up, left that poor dog tied up in that horse trailer for hours and didn't check on him. And when they went to check on him, Mac tried to jump out of the horse trailer and hung himself and died. Now, that's from Cuervo. And I gave him a ride. Cuervo's got no reason to lie to me. There was no cameras, no nothing, just me and Cuervo riding down the road. So, then Zane showed up in my camp, and he was just a douchebag.
Just let me say this disclaimer.
Kids, he's horrible. I've talked to his wife several times. He don't have anything to do with his kids. He don't support his kids. He don't try to contact them or anything.
Right.
Just another deadbeat dad avoiding child support out there. There's a lot of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking with Nikki Bailey of Camp Dragonfly. Camp Dragonfly of Slab City. Yes, that Nikki Bailey. Yes, that Camp Dragonfly. And
Which is no longer there.
She is spilling the tea tonight. She has uprooted from Camp Dragonfly. Did you tell anybody that you were kicking rocks and getting out of there? Did you let anybody know, or did you just...
I did tell a few people. I was very close with Rabbit Side, so I did say my goodbyes to them. I didn't. I had some dealings with Beret, but that was just a comedy of errors. I didn't tell very many people that I was going because I didn't feel like I had anything left. I had been either screwed over, hurt, or something. So I didn't want the drama of it all. I just wanted to leave, and I tried for 7 months to get along and to, everything. And like I said, it's a lot different when you're actually there than when you're online watching it or seeing it, that way. It's extremely harsh out there. The elements are harsh. The people are harsh. I get that they get jaded. I mean, I've seen people come out there and camp for the weekend and walk off and leave their fucking trash at their camp.
Yeah.
Mad Mac, several times come out there and walked away and left his fucking trash. Like, dude, you should know better. But he didn't think anything about it because he didn't live there. He didn't care. He would go dump his shit under a tree, 25 feet from where he was camping because he was too fucking lazy to go take it home with him in his truck. That makes people angry out there. When you try to go build a camp or do something and you got to clean up people's crap from before. I paid someone to clean up what was left of my mess.
What happened with you and Mad Mac? How did that go? Why did he call you out? Why did he even feel like he needed to say that?
Well, the first time what happened was he was staying up at Cause's, and Cause and him got into it, so he came to stay over where I was. And he stayed over there a couple days, and then he went back up to Cause's, and evidently his data was gone. So Cause was like, well, go to Nikki. She's got a jetpack. Get her password. So the next day, he comes over, and he goes, hey, Cause told me to get your password for your jetpack. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, Cause told me that you have Wi-Fi. I need the pass. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? So Cause was telling people, go over there and mooch off Nikki. So he had to park close enough to me to get a signal. So he parks close enough to me. So he's freaking out because he's out of money, he's out of data, he's out of everything. So he don't have any dabs. Again, I don't do dabs. They don't do nothing for me. But I bought him $20 worth of dabs. I said, here you go. Quit whining, quit crying. You're acting like a heroin addict. Here you go, some dabs. I gave him pot. We tried everything to help him. So I went to take him dinner. I made him chicken and mashed potatoes, Southern style. Mashed potatoes and fried chicken.
Oh, shit.
So I went over to give it to him, and I go, Mac, I got dinner. And he starts screaming at me again with the screaming. So I threw his plate in the ground and walked off. So he left. He got his little butt hurt. So the second time he come back, he didn't come near me. He went straight to Cause's. So he was up there a week, two, whatever, he was up there. And he got mad because I wouldn't come up there and see him. And I was like, dude, I'm fighting with Cause. I'm not going up there. You know where I am. But he would drive by, but he wouldn't stop. So he got mad at me because I wouldn't come up to causes and pay homage to him. So he decided to troll, throw me under the bus, and tell everybody that I had troll accounts, which I did. So I didn't want Tommy and Selena to take the rap for something that I did. So I had Deborah intervene because Mac had me blocked on all platforms. I had Deborah talk to him and tell him to tell everybody that it was me, or I was going to.
Oh, okay.
So,
I think I might have had something to do with that. Accidentally leaning on
Well, he thought it would get him viewers by doing that video, throwing me under the bus like that. And then I made him do the rebuttal video saying it wasn't Tommy and that it was me, and then he deleted all of it.
Yeah. Poor Mac. I mean, I mean this from my perspective. Like, if I don't, like, grab onto that and think to myself, it must be Tommy, then maybe it doesn't get this ridiculous. And maybe I'm giving myself too much credit here, but I did make a video saying that Mad Matt called out Tommy for his, because Tommy does have troll accounts. Tommy told me he has troll accounts, and not just the Devil Destroyer troll account. He has
everybody. If you say you don't have a troll account, you're a fucking liar.
Well, call me a fucking liar, because I only have one account besides the other accounts that also have thumbs in every other fucking direction, because I don't know how to work the shit. But yeah, I mean, they all got thumbs, except for one that says Citizens with Cameras, but everybody, I think, is pretty much schooled on my accounts. I have Good Job Buddies with thumbs ups, one going, like, looking like they're hitchhiking, because I don't know how to fucking operate the thing, and then I have Citizens with Cameras, which is literally the troll underneath the bridge in Fremont in Seattle. That troll with a pink hat on. And
okay, so if you're not trolling and you don't have a troll account, you're still lurking into
I do that.
you
I
wouldn't
do lurk.
participate in because of trolling, and you're watching what's being said.
Yeah, I lurk. That's how I get probably 50% of my slab material comes from me just lurking and, you know, just being like, And a lot of times I'm also walking and listening. Because I don't have a vehicle, I have to walk, and so I consume a lot of it just, you know, audibly, which actually helps me to pay attention to every little detail the
Eddie,
creator
get a sponsor and you can get a car.
I know, right? What's up, SD420?
I mean, what the fuck, dude?
I could definitely live out of an RV, dog.
RV like Mackie and Deborah, or you can get reefer like Kaz, or
Damn,
Alien
I
and
wish I
them,
was
or,
still
you know,
smoking,
whatever.
man.
You know, get you a sponsor, boo-boo.
I know, I need me a sponsor. SD420, hit me up, man. Hit me in my, slide in my DMs, slide in my emails. And by the way, I'm gonna hit a dab real quick.
Oh, have fun. Don't puke, though.
I hit 2 of them. Now, I actually quit smoking weed about 7 weeks ago, and I'm almost I'll be 8 weeks, obviously in another week.
Well, I smoke it because I don't want to take the drugs that they want to give me for the PTSD, the borderline personality disorder, the osteoarthritis that I have, and the other things. They want to pump me full of drugs, and I don't want that. So
yeah,
I'm in a
don't get me wrong, I want to be smoking weed.
I
I wish that I could smoke weed. I just don't, because I love Amber. No, I don't, because I do love Amber, but I also am not, because I am trying to land a bigger job. I'm trying to get a job in a corporate setting, and
So if you did that, would you still do this?
Oh God, yeah, I'd still do this. I might not have as much time to dedicate to it, because, you know, what we've done is we have you know, essentially well, I lost my van, so I don't have we had a business where I clean chimneys, I clean dryer vents, shit like that, low-end maintenance stuff, but we do that for the neighborhood. It's got like 1,500 houses in it, but no chimneys, so wintertime gets pretty sparse. I can do, like, I do some pressure washing, I do some gutter jobs, and I do dryer vent cleanings, but I don't get enough really to, like, support a family. I get enough to get by. And
yeah, well, at least you're trying. I mean, Tommy was supposed to be signing up for job stuff. He come and bum $10 off of me for gas to go to El Centro to sign up for Job Corps or something. He never went. He never did any of that stuff. He just kind of got the money from me. It was my last $10, but I gave it to him because I thought he was going to get a job.
Yeah, God, and you know, he was signed up to those what are those, temporary temp
Yeah,
agencies.
labor pools and stuff, yeah.
And I've heard that once you signed up with those, you can pretty much, that'll move around with you. You have to obviously reestablish.
Yeah, you can go anywhere and use them, yep.
Yeah. So it's kind of a bummer that, I thought they had it made pretty good when they were in that garage. I don't know where they were for sure.
I didn't watch them then, to be honest with you. I really didn't. I started fresh with them when they got there. I knew they were going to come back the second time. So I really didn't watch their content before that because I really didn't care for them or their message. And they knew that coming in. I mean, I've never hid the fact that I feel that way. I've never, hid the fact that I didn't like the way that your channel started, which was due to the fact that two children were allegedly, which is the legal term, allegedly sodomized out there on the 4th of July. So that was the reason I had the problem with you, is that I felt like that you were building a channel on the backs of two molested children. Having met their mother, I don't honestly feel that way anymore. I don't feel like I would have to see evidence that those children were molested because I did meet their mother.
Yeah, and you think
she would sell her kids for money. So
yeah.
The rumor is that she spent 3-4 hours in the car with San Diego 420, and he was upset because Andreas took his people that he wanted to sponsor because he wanted to sponsor the Goonies. So that's my theory, but I don't have any evidence. So I'm waiting for the trial, the evidence,
Yeah, Tommy's theory, or for whatever lack of a better word, I'll just call it theory, it centers around San Diego 420 as well, and that some other people helped to set up Mike. I really wish Tommy would.
I thought it was funny Eljo didn't meet him or mention him when he did his interview, because Eljo has also been sponsored by San Diego 420.
Man, San Diego 420 has got some dough.
Yes, he does. He drives I think a Denali.
Homie.
And he comes out there with a U-Haul full of stuff for people.
Oh, man.
You see, every time they do all these gratitude videos from him, he's handing out thousands of dollars worth of merchandise every time he comes out there.
Hey, look, San Diego 420, holla at your boy. You don't have an East Coast plug up yet. I'm it. I'll be your East Coast plug, San Diego 420. I am not above selling out. I will sell right the fuck out the door, dog. Just, all you gotta do is hit me up. I'll be fucking I'll change my name to the Good Job SD 420 shit.
Eddie at...
Yes, I'll change it all. I'll change it. I'll change my whole... I'll be right back on the weed tomorrow.
Thing.
Yeah, I certainly will, man. I'll be smoking weed tomorrow if he hooks me up.
Get some pink hairs.
Yeah, so much for that whole quitting weed shit. As soon as I get an email from...
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, Amber's like, I'm so glad you quit smoking. I'm like, sorry, I just started back up because San Diego 420 hit me up.
My sponsor said so.
Yeah, I'll be definitely convinced that we'll be just fine if he hits me up and wants to sponsor this show. I'm down to do whatever he wants me to do. I've also been, and I put this out there just to tell you, but I want to give Mike Dibble a chance to get his word out, to get his side of the story out. People say that
Nikki Shoshu is the person to contact to get to Mike Dibble. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, Nikki Shoshu...
That's not me.
Has...
Nikki Shoshu is the person that you want to contact because she's in contact with Mike.
And that's for real. That's legit, right? Because people have said that Nikki
Shoshu was a friend of Roger Gaines, and Roger Gaines knows her. They dated briefly, I guess. If you go back and watch Goonies videos from way back when I first started chatting with them, Mike thought that I was her. He got us confused. So Nikki is still involved with Mike's case. She visits him. She helps him. She talks to his attorneys. When I first went out there, I got a message from Willow saying, "Oh, thank you for all your help with Mike. The attorney said that you're really helping a lot," and blah, blah, blah. I said, "You got the wrong Nikki, bitch, because I don't know Mike. I can't help him. I never met him. I only knew him from YouTube." So, wrong fucking person. But Nikki Shoshu, the actual person, is the one that will get you in touch with Mike. If Mike wants a platform to get out his side of the story, I would try her. If not, then I would go to Mike directly and tell him that you're willing to give him a platform. But you understand, calling from prison, he would either need a calling card or collect.
Yeah, that's not a problem. We'll with San Diego 420 is now my new sponsor, so.
You now own AT&T?
Yeah. The irony of it all is that he's going to be paying for the phone call. So, all right. So we covered pretty much. You were never assaulted or attacked or hurt in any physical way while you were in the slabs, right?
Never. I was threatened online by people. Dog lips threatened to burn me out, but nobody ever. No rumors, no physical altercations. I mean, I encountered a lot of crazy people, and I just laughed and never. I'm non-confrontational. I'm known for that out there. Anybody that you ask about me out there will tell you, Nikki is non-confrontational. I would not get into it with anyone over anything. I did not do that. I did not engage because it's safer that way.
Yeah.
There's been stabbings out there. There's been several stabbings out there. There's been people hit with pipes, bats, dogs, everything. So I just did not do that. I never was threatened. I was never hurt. I never had one thing stolen from me. I was never offered meth of any kind by anyone at any time. But it was out there. It was prevalent. It was rampant. I would say 75% of the people out there do meth.
And your overall opinion, let's say if you came into the slabs 7 months ago and you had Kaz on an overall 10 coming in, what's your overall opinion of Kaz now?
-12.
Wow, that is a huge difference. You know how numbers
work.
Well,
you don't know someone online, Eddie. You can't know their personality and things about them.
Right.
But when you're in a community that they are in, I mean, Cause was a part of the Slab City Community Group, for an example. He was on the board of directors. He was on that for 2-3 months and just didn't want to do the work. And walked away from it. Yet he cries community. He's all for the community. He doesn't do any work. He has all the people that stay there do all the work for him. And if they don't do what he thinks they should do, then they're a piece of shit. And he yells and screams at them and
it's
stuff
funny,
like that.
I thought that's what he said about Mike Dibble. Isn't that the knock on Dibble? Was it Dibble was the same way?
He did work himself. He physically chipped in and helped people do things there. He expected everybody to work just as hard as he did. Then he got sucked into YouTube and he started filming himself and doing less, but he did physically do a lot of things out there as well.
Well, Dibble did something because he kept himself in some damn good shape. I got to say that. I don't know that I've seen anybody as cut as I mean, I know he's not a big dude, but the dude is really ripped.
Yeah, and you don't get that way, from sitting around on your ass smoking pot all day.
Right. All right, so let me think here. Is there anything? So we have covered that. And you're at a safe place now, right? You're not going to be in any danger after...
Oh, no, I'm not in any danger.
All right, because this video is definitely already out. It's live as it gets.
Good,
and,
I'm not scared.
And she's got receipts, y'all, and I'm not, y'all
and
know...
Eddie, if you need receipts on a specific thing that you think has weight, you contact me and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, if anybody wants to put up a fuss about anything, we'll definitely do that. But I have a feeling the fact that you have receipts is enough to make people who might want to say otherwise be like, nah, I think I'll let it slide.
Yeah, because if y'all want to splash it, I'll splash.
Wow.
I got receipts. I can prove everything that I've said as far as things that would require a receipt. As far as talking about people, I can prove text messages, screenshots, and things like that, things that were said and done to me. Other things were just my personal experience from me being there. Overall, it's a wonderful community. There's people there that love and support you and that are wonderful, but they're few and far between. I had a handful of people that were consistent, were awesome friends. Carl the blacksmith, he's wonderful. He's a wonderful person. He's supportive. He's loving. He's kind. He's honest. He's running a business, a blacksmith business. The rabbits, they're awesome. They do everything that they can for people. Mojo tried to help people there, and they took advantage of her, stole, abused her water. She had a 5-gallon limit per day. People were taking 10 and 20 gallons at a time.
Yeah.
So she cut it all off. She turned everything and quit helping people because they abused the fact that they were getting stuff for free. Because they're like, oh, well, I can get it free. I don't have to pay or do this or, donate or help or do anything. So she quit doing it. So there are some good people out there that do make it, but they have someone helping them. There are no single females out there that are not part of a camp, that are not struggling or having problems or whatever, because it's not possible out there. You have to have help. It's physically demanding to be out there.
You said
from the heat, from the dust, from just the elements themselves. I mean, they kill snakes out there constantly.
Yeah.
The rats get in your RV no matter how nice your trailer is. I mean, it's just a harsh environment. Winds, constantly. If you have shit outside and you don't have it packed down, it's a joke out there that the slabs gods take away and they deliver. Like, people have had, shit blown into their yard, and the thing is that if your shit blows into somebody else's yard, it's theirs.
Yeah.
So there are good people out there, but I would say for the most majority, they're there because they can't fit in anywhere else, and they've got nowhere else to go.
You said,
I was lucky. I had somewhere to go.
You saw, and there's been a few other women in chats talking about, I can't think of it, maybe one of them's like Lipstick in the name.
Lipstick.
Who are talking about...
Stella Fries on Facebook, Lipstick, whatever, online, yeah.
Yeah, who are talking about moving out there or going to the slabs, and you have a stark warning for them.
I wouldn't go. They're looking for you because of your comments and things about thieves and stuff. They're waiting for you. They want to test you. You said you had a machete. They're already talking about seeing if you're capable of using it. So I would not go by myself. If you're determined to go there, you should go to an established camp and stay with them. Just be careful, because the camp that you go to could be the ones that's talking the shit about you. So, I would say don't do it. If you have another place that you can go, I would not go there. I really wouldn't recommend it to anyone, single, female or male, alone, because it's hard alone out there. And if you've got a different alternative, if you've got another option, take it. Don't go out there unless you're just giving up on society, yourself, and everything else, and you don't have any other choice. Then absolutely, I wouldn't say it's better than being on the streets, I guess. To me, it'd be better to be on the streets. But
you would recommend, like Rabbit Side or some of the people you were just talking about, maybe if you're going to you have to go out there, you would link up with some of those people.
If they're accepting people, yes. Neighborhood camp, as I said before, Tommy, they accepted Tommy and Selena. Neighborhood camp is always taking people in. There's a little drama there and stuff like that, but there's drama everywhere. They're a good established camp, but it's good to go to an established slab veteran and stay with them until you make sure you want to stay, for one, make friends, make sure that this is the right thing for you before you go. And, I bought all the wood to put up a shade structure, traded to get the shade structure put up, and couldn't get the person to come and do it, even though I paid them to do it. So, being alone, if I'd had a man, I could have said, hey, go kick this guy's ass and tell him to get over here and do this. Or my man would have been putting up my shade structure or, whatever. So, just be aware of what you're getting yourself into. If you have an alternative or you have another option, take it. If you don't take my word for it, that's fine. But when you get there and you're at your rope's end, your mind's going to think, oh my God, Nikki was telling the truth. It's not a place to go if you have options in life. It's a place to go if you're a pedophile, you're a deadbeat dad trying to stay away from your baby mama, you would be homeless otherwise, you don't want to work, you're an alcoholic, you're a drug addict. That's the kind of environment. The other people that are out there, that are good people, they're out there because they've got nowhere else to go and they've built a home and they're good people.
Yeah.
So...
Well,
I would
good
say if you got
Lord.
somewhere else, go.
I think you thoroughly spilled the tea.
I think so, Eddie, and I appreciate you being generous and kind and respectful. I completely apologize to you. I want to do that now. I want to apologize for anything. Like I said, I have a hard time processing things. So once I was able to sit down and honestly think about what you do, your platform, and things like that, that's what prompted me to reach out to you and say, hey, I got something that will help grow your channel, because I know you're trying to do that. And I think that your platform is good for that. I just think that the way that it started kind of, left a bad impression on me. But once I was able to process through that, I was able to accept that. I want to tell, Amber and you, thank you so much for all your time and your consideration. I greatly appreciate it. And, all your subscribers and things like that. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe notification. I'm sure he'll be having some more killer interviews.
She's a
Maybe
pro.
he'll have people do rebuttals on my interview. That would be awesome.
Yes, and I want to thank you for, the apologies are very, very much accepted, and I knew that once you got to know who I am, that you would kind of be able to see that, I do kind of put on a little bit of a facade when I'm on live than I am when I'm off the air. Obviously, you can't be yourself 24/7 and then be yourself for that 1 hour. As soon as the mic comes on for me, I definitely amp it up, because you have to try to fit it all in.
Like Howard Stern, like a shock jock like Howard Stern.
Yeah.
Howard Stern's not the same person when he's off the air as he is when he's on the air. It's same with wrestlers. You have your entertainment. That's what you're doing. You're entertaining people. You want to attract people to your channel. I read your comments. You're getting good comments from people about things. They like your content. You're doing better. You're growing your channel in a positive manner.
And I'm navigating it, like I do everything else.
Fighting with the kids and shit like that. That stuff's stupid, but that's just my opinion.
No, I really appreciate you. You reach out to me, and I thought that said a lot to me as to what is what you apologize, but I feel like you also apologize by reaching out to me, because to me you were telling me that, hey, I know that this is the place to go to get the most people to hear what I have to say, and in an environment that I'm going to give you as much rope as you need, you know what I mean? You can roll with it as far as you want to go, because that's what, and I want everybody to know that,
I appreciate that, and anybody out there that's thinking about coming on and doing interviews with him, I highly recommend it. Even if you want to come in and say, I'm a fucking liar, do that, because Eddie, he will treat you fair. You'll get a fair interview with him, and, you'll get your message out there. For me, this was a way for me to warn people, an insider's view of what happened, and it only happened to me. I can't tell you what happened to other people out there, but I can tell you what happened to me in the 7 months that I was there, and how I was treated and how I feel about it. Again, I was never threatened physically. I was never stolen, not had one thing stolen, and I left shit sitting outside all the time. None of that ever happened to me there. I was never, roofied or anything, but I didn't hang out in other people's camp that much. I stayed in my lane. I stayed home most of the time, and I didn't go partying, drinking, smoking, doing drugs in other people's camps. So,
yeah.
If you do that, you stay in your own lane, you'll have a safer, better time.
There you go, y'all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Nikki Bailey. Camp Dragonfly is no more. I guess you're closing up that for good, that chapter of your life anyway. And moving on.
Yep, I'm moving on.
We look forward, though, to seeing you return back to YouTube. I hope you do consider doing that. And,
I have no interest in it. I've already deleted my accounts online, my Facebook, and things like that. I understand that I deserve the nasty comments and things that I get, because I brought them on myself by being mean to people. But it's just a way to protect myself. When I see, people talking about people in the community that I support, then I become defensive. I'm more apt to have an argument or a fight with someone over someone else protecting than I am for myself. For me, it's like, oh, okay. But I deserve everything, that people say about me and things like that. because I brought it upon myself. I don't have social skills sometimes in dealing with things and people, so I react negatively, and I think about it for days, and then 3 days later I go, oh damn, maybe I should have done this, or I should have said it this way, or I should have done that. So it's okay for me. I don't care, but I don't have tough enough skin for people to be mean to me and me take it. It's just not in my wheelhouse. So I'll continue to watch others, watch your channel, support you. Like I said, if you need anything from me, you know how to contact me, Eddie.
All right, and I will, Nikki, and thank you so much for coming on and being an
Good
open
luck with
book.
your channel. Like I said, guys, at least if you didn't like the interview, hit the dislike button, because YouTube don't give a fuck if it's up or down.
Oh, they're definitely coming in here to hit that too.
Well, that's fine, because YouTube doesn't distinguish between the two.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and
So,
I get one or the other.
Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You know, support the channel, support Good Job Buddy. Thank you, everybody, for your time this evening. I appreciate it. I wish everyone the best, and carry on.
Thank you, Nikki. Hey, take care of
Bye,
yourself.
Eddie.
All right, girl.